Welcome to the most must-watch WSUW YouTube channel in history. Welcome to First Round KO.
Enjoy the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
welcome to Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw edition. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Howard Dingers, and welcome to 3 Count Review, presented by First Round KO, the Monday Night Raw edition. Today, I am recording Monday night. I'm recording right after Raw happened, and I'm not doing the show live, obviously. I'm not on air. I'm going to be home this week during Thanksgiving, obviously, so I decided to do these reviews just by myself real quick at home, just so that I can keep some content going. And so I apologize for the audio quality, and yeah, there's gonna be some background noise and all that fun stuff that goes with that, because I'm not in a professional recording studio. But yeah, let's dive right into this Monday Night Raw. It was interesting. I was very interested in what they were going to do following Survivor Series, and got my answer pretty quickly. We had Baron Corbin start the show, and he says, welcome to the I think he said unanimous or undisputed or something. He said the undisputed A show, Monday Night Raw, because hey, they got the quote-unquote clean sweep. And I do want to actually comment on that. They swept the main card, and everyone's complaining because SmackDown won that pre-show match. But so apparently the report is that Vince did want a clean sweep, and somehow that got lost in creative, and creative just accidentally, I guess, or missed it. Someone missed it, and they wrote SmackDown to win the tag team match. So I think that's why they're just kind of ignoring it. Like, they're not even, like, I think at one point tonight they even mentioned that the Revival were the sole survivors for Team Raw. Like, obviously they were the last people on Team Raw, but they were the ones who lost. So I think they're trying to rewrite history a little, because they wanted Raw to win. They wanted Raw to clean sweep, and somehow that got lost in creative. So anyway, I just wanted to address that anyway. So yes, Raw got the clean sweep, and Corbin says there's only one person to give credit for all this, and that is the innovative and mastermind behind Monday Night Raw, Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie comes out to the ring and says it feels so good that Raw had a clean sweep on SmackDown, and SmackDown didn't win once. Again, playing into the clean sweep, even though it wasn't. A lot of the success is due to Baron Corbin, and Stephanie thanks Corbin and the entire Raw roster. Last night they proved that they are the best. They're going to celebrate tonight. Corbin says that Stephanie has made some promises, though, and that Stephanie said that she would consider making Corbin's position permanent. Stephanie said, yes, you're right, I have made some promises. This brought out BRAUN Strowman. He marches to the ring and Strowman said that he held up his end of the bargain, and now it's Stephanie's turn. Strowman wants his match with Corbin, and then so this makes Stephanie book Strowman versus Corbin at TLC. Stephanie says that if Corbin can win, he will be the official GM of Raw. If Corbin loses all authoritative power. So that should be interesting. Strowman then said that he can pick the stipulation for the match, and he reveals that it will be a TLC match. Okay. I was kind of hoping for maybe just a tables match, because that could be interesting. But a TLC match is, I think Corbin and Strowman can make it fun. It'll be a nice little gimmick match for them because I don't want to see a straight-up one-on-one match with those two. And then Strowman asks about his Universal Championship match, and Stephanie says that Strowman will get his title shot at the Royal Rumble only if Strowman is able to beat Corbin. So that's they made that clear. Strowman has to win against Baron Corbin at TLC. Easy enough. Corbin says that the TLC match favors him against Strowman and may not even and then he said that Strowman may not even make it to TLC because he's still the GM. He can still make matches. He books a handicap match for Strowman against Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Stephanie says, you know what? I'm in a good mood. I can do you one better. We'll make it a 6-man tag. It'll be McIntyre, Lashley, and you, Baron, versus Strowman, Elias, and Finn Balor. And that match is next. This was a very good. I shouldn't say very good. This was a decent way to open up Raw, address the Braun Strowman promises and the matches and everything. Is a good way to open. I think. Obviously it's going to be an authoritative thing. Kind of, recapping what happened. So I have to accept that that's what they do at the beginning of each show. So I'm going to. So then we get and they made this. I was so mad about this. So they made the 6-man match an elimination match. And I get it for the angle that happens at the end of the match. But if there's one match that you shouldn't do on the Raw after Survivor Series, it's an elimination 6-man tag match. Because it's just a condensed version of a Survivor Series match. It's just stupid. It's like having a TLC. It's like having a Money in the Bank match the night after Money in the Bank. Like, I get why they did that because of the Ellsworth backlash, but then Ellsworth just still, it's like doing a TLC match after TLC. It's like doing another Hell in a Cell match after Hell in a Cell. I don't like it. I was very annoyed by that, and that maybe that's just me, but I didn't like that. But like I said, it plays into the story of the match. So this was a really long match, decent. It was basically just the heels working over Balor and Elias. Eventually, Balor got hit with a Claymore kick. He got pinned and eliminated. And then we go to a break. And after the break, we had each member of the heel team just, it says, pound their flesh. They're taking a pound of flesh from Elias. What? They beat the crap out of Elias. Outside the ring, McIntyre and Lashley double team Strowman. Elias is on his own for now. Elias hits a knee strike, goes up to the top, and drops an elbow drop on Corbin. And then Elias goes after Lio Rush. Lashley spears Elias, and Elias gets counted out and eliminated. I actually like that spot. Countouts in elimination matches are always good. It somewhat protects the guy, so I kind of like that they're kind of looking after Elias like that. And then we come back and it's just McIntyre, or it's Strowman 1-on-3. Interesting. Let's see here. Okay, so Strowman power slams Corbin. He's about to pin Baron Corbin. But then out of nowhere to break up the pin, McIntyre hits Strowman in the back with a chair and gets disqualified. Drew McIntyre was then eliminated from the match, but that doesn't really matter. They didn't really continue the match too much. The match just broke down. McIntyre stayed out there, and all three of the heels just beat down on Strowman with a chair, a bunch of chair shots. I think they sent him into the barricade and then into the ring steps. Corbin slapped him a few times. Strowman tried to make a comeback, but McIntyre hits a Claymore. And then they kept throwing him into the other ring steps. And then Corbin hits Strowman with a chair. Strowman starts bleeding somewhere. I think it's his arm. And I think it was from this spot. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to go back and watch. But Lashley is holding Strowman's arm across one of the steps on the ring steps, and then Corbin takes the top of the steps and just smashes Strowman's arm in there, and it actually looked pretty legit. And Corbin's face, like, at first was like, oh shit, and then just kind of like looked around, but I don't know, it may just be kayfabe, may be really good, because Strowman's just on the ground. He's like, I think this is where he started bleeding. I don't know, maybe it was earlier, but he just starts, people start looking at him, and he's just like, oh my god, guys, I can't feel my hand. I have no feeling in my hand right now. He's just freaking out. And throughout the night, they kept giving us like medical updates on Strowman, that he was taken to a local, what do they call it, medical facility, and that he has a shattered elbow. And I hope that's not real, because that would suck. But I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's kayfabe. So it'll be interesting how they do that, and maybe they'll have him work quote unquote injured at TLC. I don't know. That'll be interesting going forward. Yeah, good angle, good heel heat on Corbin and the other three. I wonder if they're working away from Dolph Ziggler McIntyre, if they're just gonna ignore that. I don't even think Ziggler was on this show, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe they just ignored it for tonight. Who knows? Next, we had an in-ring segment with Seth Rollins. He talks about how great the crowd was last night, and he said he took some time to reflect over the past 6 years because Survivor Series, I believe, yesterday was the 6-year anniversary from when the Shield debuted on the main roster, so that's pretty cool. He said it made what Dean Ambrose did that much worse. Ambrose still hasn't been man enough to stand face to face with Rollins, and Rollins talks about how messed up he realizes Ambrose is now, and he doesn't want to wait till TLC. Rollins is here looking for a fight, and he calls out Ambrose. Ambrose appears on the Tron again, and he says he isn't going to run out there. It's like some kind of lunatic, as you would call me. Great line. Times have changed. No one knows the terrible things they did when the cameras were off, being the Shield, and it's all coming back to them. He's literally line. I'm going to try to say this somewhat word for word. He says, look at Roman. For everything they did when they were in the Shield, now has to answer to the big man upstairs. That's a risky line. I hope they got Roman in on that decision. So that, I don't know. That one's going to be interesting. What's worse is Rollins has to answer to Ambrose. Ambrose tells Rollins to come and find him, and then Rollins runs to the back and looks for him. And this was an on-playing story throughout the night, so we'll get to it. But I like this. Ambrose is just amazing. I'll probably say that a couple times during this review. Ambrose is just amazing. Then we had Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Tamina, mainly because of what Nia Jax did at Survivor Series, pushing Sasha off the top rope into the Asuka lock. So they just had to get their revenge. Still booing the Jax out of the building. That's going to continue for a long time, I hope, until the Ronda match, because that's going to be amazing when Ronda wins. She's going to get mega babyface reaction. I don't want to go through this whole match because it wasn't that good, because it's Tamina and Nia Jax, and they're just not good wrestlers. Bayley gets a near fall after a top rope crossbody. Jax spears Bayley into the corner. Banks breaks up that pin. Bayley jumps on Nia's back. Jax slams Bayley down to the mat and then hits a nasty Samoan drop for the win. At some point in this match, too, Nia hit a punch, obviously, and the face breaker. I don't know how I feel about that. But, if it's getting her heel heat, and that's what they want. So I guess good job for creating a new mega heel. But yeah, Nia and Tamina won. Next, we had, and I think this is the next segment. I have to, once my notes load. We had a backstage segment. They recapped what happened in the AOP versus Bar match, and they showed Drake Maverick. They showed Drake Maverick peeing himself, because that's a thing that happened. And then they they cut to catering backstage, and Drake Maverick was in line getting food, and behind him was Heath Slater and Rhino, and they just started making diaper jokes. And, I have to admit, this segment made me laugh. As much as I hated that spot yesterday, this segment made me laugh. Heath Slater and Rhino were saying that he needs adult diapers, and then Slater said, "Oh, maybe he could fit into kid diapers." Blah blah blah. And then he's like, Maverick gets mad and he goes, "Who do you think you are?" And he turns around and looks Rhino in the chest, and then looks up and realizes that he's bigger than him. So he turns around, sees Chad Gable because they're about the same height, and he says, "Well, you think this is funny, Gable?" Because he doesn't want to pick a fight with Rhino. And then Gable goes, no, dude, calm down, dude. I don't know why you're so pissed. And then everyone in the cater room started laughing. And then Bobby Roode comes over and says, "I hope you're feeling bladder after yesterday." Or, sorry, I meant better. Again, I chuckled. These are terrible jokes, but I love terrible jokes. This was actually really funny. And then Drake Maverick says, "Hey, I manage AOP, so, because you made all those jokes, you're in a lot of trouble." And everyone started laughing again, and he was like, "What? What's so funny?" And they go, "Urine." Ah, ha, ha, ha. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. I hate the spot. It was a terrible spot. It was stupid, and it makes Maverick and the AOP look like a joke, but this was a funny segment, I will admit. So then we had Ambrose appearing on the video screen as Charlie was about to do an interview, and Ambrose tells Charlie to find Rollins and tell him to meet Ambrose in the spot the Shield used to call home. After the break, Rollins goes into that spot, and he goes through the door in where, the steps, and Ambrose isn't there, but the door closes behind him, and he looks at the back of the door, and it's "Burn It Down" is painted on the back of the door. And, Rollins is pissed. Next, we had the Lucha House Party versus the Revival. And before the match, they announced that because of Lucha tag rules or Lucha rules or something like that, all 3 members of Lucha House Party were in the match. So you mean it's a handicap match favoring the baby face? This is so weird. I don't know what they were going for with this. This was super weird. Kalisto eventually tags in Lince Dorado, who clears the ring. He tags in Dorado, who clears the ring after a distraction from the pinata. BYOP, bring your own pinata, as Renee said. God. I love all 3 of these wrestlers, but this is stupid. After a distraction from the pinata, Dorado hits a shooting star press for the win. Lucha House Party beat the Revival. God, I feel terrible for the Revival. They deserve so much better. Backstage, we had another Rollins segment, and he basically just said what Ambrose said about Reigns was too far. Then we had an in-ring segment with Ronda Rousey, and Rousey says she understands that she is going to defend her title against Nia Jax at TLC. Rousey understands how dangerous Jax is, but she said, just look at Becky's face. And you can't have a baby face bring up Becky or she's gonna get booed. Stop this. And she continued on with, she said something about champions have to fight, whether you're 100% or 1%. You have to be ready. You don't have contenders. What did she say? You don't have the, I don't know, contenders something. As a champion, you have to be ready every night. And it kind of felt like she was saying that about Ronda or about Becky. And you can't have someone who you're trying to get over as a babyface talk about Becky right now, because that's just gonna get booed. And she did get booed when she was talking about that. But whatever. This is stupid. Rousey said that she is there to show us what a true champion looks like. Again, taking shots at Becky, and that, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna make her heel at some point, but I don't think that's a good idea either. Although against Becky at WrestleMania, that might actually be a decent idea. Who knows? Rousey takes her jacket off and she says this is her worst day. And if Rousey can't defend the title on her worst day, then she doesn't deserve to be champion. Corbin comes out and says, nope, that's not happening. And then Rousey says, oh, maybe you want a piece of the champ. And I was like, yes, please. I want to see Ronda versus Corbin. But then she just said, Corbin, go to the back, find someone, send her out here for a championship match. All right. Cool. So Corbin goes to the back, finds a contender, I guess, and it's Mickie James. Cool. For whatever reason, I was expecting a debut. Whatever. Shame on me, right? I don't know. This was a quick title match for them. Rousey hits a judo throw, or a couple judo throws all over the ring. Hits 3 Piper's Pits, which is her like spinning Samoa drop, whatever she does, and then, puts Mickie in the Rousey armbar. Mickie James taps out, winner and still Raw champion Ronda Rousey. After the match, Tamina and Nia meet Rousey on the stage, and Jax laughs as Rousey walks away, and she got booed out of the building again. It'll be interesting. I think it'll be good for Ronda to beat her up because it'll be mega babyface heat. Or reaction, not heat. Because of what happened backstage, we next got the AOP versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable because, Drake Maverick wanted revenge on Bobby and Chad for making fun of him. This was a decent match, actually. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode have really kind of grown on me. They've had a lot of good spots. They're actually really good as a tag team, and I still have faith in this tag team only because I feel and hope that this is leading to a Bobby Roode heel turn. So I'm very into this, and I love it. So we had Gable tags in Roode, and Roode clears the ring. Roode and Gable set up for their finisher, but Akam pushes Roode out of the ring. Gable dives off the top rope into a sunset flip roll up, and gets a 1-2-3 for the win. Roll up win. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable beat the Ascension. I'm assuming this is setting up tag team match in the future. I like it. I'm all about it. Although I think AOP should hold it for a while, but give Bobby and Chad a title run. Because then when the breakup happens, it means a little more. You got to let them be a tag team for a while. I don't know. I like I said, I find them pretty enjoyable, so I'm pretty excited for that. Then backstage we had Ambrose says he is right here if Rollins wants him, and then it cuts to Rollins with his suitcase, and he says he's leaving the arena because, you know what, it's fine. I'll get him at TLC. I don't need to worry about it tonight. So I'm just going to go. Rollins leaves. Okay. Next we had Natalya versus Ruby Riott. This is the blow off from the sunglasses spot a few weeks ago. We don't need to talk about that. This was just babyface versus heel, with the heel's managers getting involved a couple times trying to help. Towards the end, we had Natalya putting Riott in the sharpshooter. Sarah Logan distracts the ref, and then Liv Morgan pulls Riott to the ropes. Natalya drop kicks Morgan off the apron, and then Ruby Riott rolls up Natalya, but then Natalya reverses that into a pin of her own, and Natalya gets the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Natalya wins, which is weird because that's not really getting your payback on Ruby. Like, a sneak up win. Like, you want to beat the crap out of her because, I mean, again, with the story they're telling, I hate the story that they're telling. It's stupid. But with the story that they're telling, Natalya wants to get her hands on her. She doesn't just want a cheap win on a roll up. So I don't know, that this story is definitely not over. This is where Michael Cole announces Strowman has a shattered elbow. And then backstage, before the commercial break, Ambrose is shown walking towards the ring because Rollins is gone. So, yeah, why not? Let's go to the ring. So then we had an in-ring segment, and Ambrose says, this is too easy. Everyone wants to see Rollins gets his hands on him, but Ambrose knows that every single one of us would have done the same thing for less, meaning the backstab. Ambrose says his reasons are justified, and he says he is nothing like the rest of the WWE universe. Ambrose says he can smell a big steaming pile of LA garbage. Dean was so good throughout this whole segment. So good. He delivered his lines so well. And he's like kind of weird, so he can have weirder kind of lines like this. I really enjoyed it. And then Rollins is shown running through the backstage area because apparently he was just sitting in his car waiting for this to happen, I guess. I think it was Rollins trying to play mind games of his own. Ambrose looks and he sees it and he starts to get concerned. And he continues with his promo. And then Rollins comes out, runs into the ring, and they start fighting. What happens? Ambrose eventually tries to hop the barricade and tries to run. Rollins catches him and throws Ambrose back over the barricade into ringside. Rollins tosses Ambrose back in the ring. Basement super kick by Rollins. Rollins tries for the stomp, but Dean moves out of the way and then hits a low blow after Rollins lands from the stomp. Ambrose then hits a dirty deeds, and Ambrose he's holding Seth and he's like, "Oh, you want to talk? Oh, you want to talk? Well, talk." And he's holding him by the jaw and he's just dead. And then he starts to leave, gets halfway up the ramp, turns around, runs back in, hits him with another dirty deeds. This was a really good end to the night. This is gonna be your hot feud with no Universal Champion. It's not gonna be Lesnar Strowman. It'll be Strowman eventually when Strowman eventually starts going after Lesnar for the Rumble. But this is going to be your hot feud. I just wish that it wasn't for the IC belt. I really wish that they would take the title off of Seth and that this would just be a blood feud, because then you can do a separate IC feud. And then that just gives you more storylines on Raw. It makes writing easier, honestly. And then it makes this feud a little more interesting because, I don't know, with the title, it doesn't feel like it's for the title. It feels like it's between the two. So why even have the title on the line? Why even have the title in there? I really wish they would dump it on someone like Elias or Lashley, someone like that, and just get it out of there. And yeah, but they're not gonna do that. They're gonna make this for the title. And yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this match though. That match is gonna be amazing. I can't wait already. And this was a good end of the show though. This was a good, again though, okay, I said this on Twitter, and I don't think WWE understands the law of diminishing returns because literally the past 3 shows now we've had beatdown angles. We had Daniel Bryan and AJ, then we had Charlotte Ronda, and now we've had Dean and Seth. Just these, and even Strowman and Corbin. We had 2 in this show. These methodical, long, heel heat beatdowns are cool once every 3 months, not 3 times in a week. You can't do these beatdowns every week. You just can't, because eventually they're just not going to mean as much as they're supposed to. They're not going to mean as much as you want them to. And eventually we're just going to lose interest whenever this happens. I don't know. The WWE is getting really repetitive. I'm just super excited for not only SmackDown tomorrow night and every Tuesday, but I'm excited for SmackDown when it goes to Fox, because I really think Fox is going to have a lot of say in everything and make it more interesting and make it more entertaining and more watchable, even though it's already great. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Good show. It was a Fallout show. I wasn't expecting much, and I didn't get much, to be honest. The elimination match to open up wasn't good. It was only to set up the angle where they could beat up Strowman. The Lucha House Party thing was so weird. The Ronda segment was good. She's getting really good at promos, and she's great in the ring. Ronda's amazing. We know that now. I'm just trying to think of what else of significance even happened. The whole Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins storyline was great, but they were just little segments. No, this wasn't. It was a decent show. It was entertaining for at least half of it. I was entertained, but for a 3-hour show, that's not very good. I don't know. That's what Monday Night Raw has turned into for me. It's just been not great content every week, but that's what I've come to expect, and I still watch it. So, but I'm very excited for SmackDown tomorrow, and that leads me to this. I am recording for SmackDown again tomorrow, so watch on the YouTube channel for my SmackDown review. Probably either Tuesday night. Yeah, I'll probably still do it. I'll probably do it Wednesday when I have some free time. But yeah, until then, I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Give us a follow on Twitter, links in the description down below. And make sure you listen to our podcast, First Round KO, on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher.
Until next time, peace.